All right. Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And I'm your host, Sam Basu. I'm your host for the day because it's Thursday. It's .NET Day. That shirt is awesome. Yes, thank you, and happy Thursday. I can show you where I got it, but let's get some little bit of music going in the background. The chill station, maybe? Yep. Okay. Right. You're looking at my desktop. So it is .NET MAUI, what is it called? Bonfire? Yeah, okay, so one of our .NET MAUI good friends in the community, this is Gerald versus Lewis. This marking is, I think, out on GitHub, on the .NET Foundation GitHub repo, so you can get the exact, the font and the text, and you can put it on anywhere. But he had actually put this up on Bonfire, so you got a few different colors. The white one is hard to pull off. It is very white, but the other ones are good. He's also got some Xamarin community stuff in there, so that's where. Okay, so if you want that, that's where you go. Okay, let's see. Cool, let's get started. We're going to talk about .NET MAUI, what's latest, and try to move some apps over and see what broke and what we need to change. Because I did this last week and I failed horribly because I didn't know a couple of pieces that I needed to do. So let's go to .NET MAUI RC1. That is the latest. We are getting very close to general availability, hopefully within a month. Oh, Thindel! Hi there, hi there. Let's see. Yeah, I am having a good day. Cannot complain. So good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, just had coffee, breakfast. Cannot complain. And it's Thursday, so I get to do .NET. Yeah, good to see you, sir. Right. So this is getting close to release, GA, hopefully in a month or so. So we have reached release candidate, and it's taken them quite a bit of time and effort to get there. I remember like the first preview one of .NET MAUI was March 15th or something, 2021. So it's like a good 1 year, more than a year. And we have had 14 previews until we hit RC, release candidate 1. There might be another RC2 before we hit GA, but the RC is the last release where they had the opportunity to make some breaking changes, and they did. Hold on, is the music a little too loud in your ears? Let me know. I'm going to pull it back a little bit. All right. If you haven't tinkered with .NET MAUI, if you're on the fence, now would be a good time because the API canvas is pretty much set. So start with David Ortner's blog post here, how to get started. Now, if you're on Windows, you have it easy. You just get Visual Studio 2022, 17.2 Preview 3, and that brings down all of the .NET runtimes and the MAUI workloads that you need. On a Mac, which is where I am at, things are a little bit more complicated because tooling isn't quite ready. VS for Mac is getting ready, so we are going to do command line, and there were some instructions and how to get started, and nothing really had changed. But what caught me off guard last week was the runtime. Napalm is saying they do intend to do Blazor Hybrid for iOS and Android at GA. Yes. PC Master, no. I had a shirt one time that says I go both ways because like I do Mac and I do PC. It didn't settle well. It's a culturally inappropriate thing to say these days. But I prefer Mac these days. But I got nothing against PCs. I got a Windows box right under my desk. Napalm, okay, now don't quote me on this, but I believe the Blazor Hybrid stuff will be there at GA. but some of the tooling might take a little bit longer to get settled in. But I think like the Blazor web view, everything should be good to go at GA. That is the plan, unless anything changes. And now eventually I think all of the tooling for .NET MAUI and the whole thing comes together in .NET 7, which is November timeframe, but we should be getting there to GA by May. Yeah, typical. MS tools come a little later. But, there's a lot of good stuff in here. So .NET MAUI right now has everything that Xamarin Forms had in terms of the controls. Plus, they have some extra things like Blazor Web View and borders and menu bars, which is, directly for desktop apps. One nice thing, just work as Blazor app and port it over to MAUI. Yes, absolutely. And in fact, I'm going to try doing some of that because I had some apps that were built with previous previews and things have broken. So let's go through this. So first thing is, how do you get going with this? Again, if you're on Windows, you got no problems, get Visual Studio. But if you're on a Mac, the thing that they released with the RC1 bits is .NET 6 has a new runtime. It's .NET 6 6.04, but the SDK version is 6.0.202 because naming things is hard, and that's kind of how we roll. So you get that for either Mac or Windows, Intel or ARM chips. But what they didn't mention explicitly, especially for the Mac crowd, is I'll show you that. If you look at my.NET, it's actually one version forward. It's actually 6.0.300, right? And that's because .NET MAUI RC1 actually runs on a preview version that's one forward from 2.02. And that is documented. Like if you have to ever build MAUI from source, let's see if I have this. Oop, I'm getting a phone call. Where is this dev guide? Okay, so right off their GitHub, I had this bookmarked. They have this dev guide where they talk about the same things, but they have a direct link to getting .NET 6 on either Windows or Mac. And this is the .NET 6 3.0. So again, if you're trying this on a Mac, my wife is trying to call me, and I think she knows I'm on a stream, but I hope it's nothing urgent. If she calls me again, I might have to take it. All right. So you get the .NET 6 runtime and 3.0, and that's how you roll. So I have that, and then get the latest workloads. So .NET MAUI install. Let's roll this up. So this alone should do it for you. If you have like local NuGet packages or NuGet configs that are pointing to somewhere else, you may have to force it to use some of these latest like sources. But otherwise, like that install should get you all the bits. I have the latest bits, and one thing more than the the release blog post, this is the real important thing. Migrating to RC1, and Microsoft has been fairly good with this. Like from preview, like 6 or 7 onwards, they've been publishing these guides on migration because every time there is like small changes in APIs, and if you have apps that were built with previous previews, you can move them over. Now this is the last one, migrating to RC1, and this one has a few breaking changes. Dependency injection wise, now everything has an interface in terms of how things are registered, so small changes, but this one's the big one. And there is one more down here. Let's keep going. So if you're using .NET MAUI on Windows, you don't need like this gobbledygook stuff because that's now on Windows App SDK with an update. It just gets the bits. And then if you're using Blazor Hybrid, which is what Napan was talking about, the registration, it used to be like a 2-step thing. We used to do like a register MAUI Blazor web view and then add that, which didn't make sense. Now it's just one line of code, but it's called add MAUI Blazor web view. However, I will say, like I tried an existing app and just changing that line of code, I still kept getting errors. So with the latest templates, it just runs and then I can just move the apps over. Some apps, like it seems like it was having some issues with the CS proj. So let me show you where things are, and then the .NET MAUI Essentials part is the one we'll talk about. So there are a couple of apps that I need to move over, so let's get into it. So first thing is, these are some of my apps, and let's just start with a MAUI Blazor plain vanilla app, and I'll show you what has changed. So the text is probably too small for you all to read. There you go. Let me know if that's good enough and legible. So nothing has changed in terms of the app project structure and all that. It's still a single project. You got your shared resources, pages, and everything. What has changed though is in the CS proj, there used to be Windows app specific things that you don't need anymore. So it's a little bit more cleaner. And let's see. Yeah, nothing else here. All of your target frameworks remain, but this one here has changed, like the MAUI program.cs, which is where the app starts up. You don't actually need this anymore. I still have it here, but I can take it out. But notice how there is no builder.register anymore. It's just add MAUI Blazor web view, just one line of code, and that does it. So this is the new way of registering things. So let's go ahead and run this, and I think it should be fine. Let's run it on Mac Catalyst. It's just a regular MAUI Blazor app. This one does a little bit more, like it does a real-time backend, and it has some APIs, but you can see it's working. So we are back in business. Now, the big thing that has actually changed is how we access some APIs, and I need to work on that. So let's go to this one here. Let's go MAUI, what is it called? Native Blazor. I was doing some native things from Blazor. Oh, okay. And let's go now, and let's go this. So this is an older app. What you will notice in this one is I'm doing a bunch of native things in this. So first thing is, yes, VS Code, I know. So index.razor, I'm doing some things, and right here I'm using Microsoft MAUI Essentials, which is the one NuGet package that gets us all the API access on iOS, Android, and so on. Now that namespace is gone, which is a little bit of a sad thing, because it was nice. It was just like one time and done. But what they have done is just broken it up into multiple namespaces, and everything is baked in. And I was talking to David Orpano about this, but the point is, even with the granular thing, you don't need to worry about this too much, because what they're saying is now everything is broken up into named and logical namespaces, right? So MAUI.essentials is gone, but instead you got MAUI.accessibility, MAUI.application model, MAUI.communications, data transfer, authentication. Like this one's an important one. Devices, that gives you all the battery and orientation and all that good stuff. Sensors, like this will have accelerometer, geolocation, barometer, compass, and all that good stuff. And then media is for your camera. And library access, networking, I'm using this, storage. So it's just broken up, and you get, so essentially when you did MAUI Essentials, they give you everything under the sun. Now they only give you this thing that you are explicitly asking for, which makes like tree-shaking a little bit easier when you're packaging up your app. So it's much more explicit than just one namespace. And you might say, hey, I have to add all of these namespaces, but instead of adding them all one by one in every file, you have global usings now. So we can just put it in a global using file and forget about it, and it's just there for throughout the app. This is an app where I use device orientation, and I read the main display's height and width. I read the connection info, make sure you're on Wi-Fi. And I also read geolocation, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, this one has, it has photo library access, and then it has location access. Don't say that you're going to use it for stalking, obviously. But this is an app that needs to move because all of the namespaces are changed. So what I might do is actually save this off and just bring it over, because I think there were some more subtle changes in CSproj which I might not be able to capture. So hold on for a second. We are going to move it over. This was the app, right? We're going to copy that whole thing and put it here. Oh, Schmelly orc. Oh, that's a nice handle. Maui going to take over cross-platform 1 year ago. Okay, let's read your comment. Hold on for a second. I'm an old man. I need like bigger text to actually read it. Maui's going to take over 1 year ago. I had a fight with someone saying Maui won't go anywhere. I don't know anything, and React Electron will be better to be able to build once and UI changes. Yes, yeah. Okay, now Schmelly Orc, I think some people still have hesitations about .NET MAUI, and I get it. You know, every tech company has, you know, frameworks that they have had to abandon. So I get it. I get the hesitation, but I think they have their heart in the right place. They're trying to do all the right things, and you know, not to, you know, dismiss any of the other platforms. Like if you do Electron.js, you know, go at it, because if you have any sort of, you know, web frameworks that you're using, it's easy to just bring it over to desktop. It's battle tested, but it's a little heavy-handed. It has like Node.js and Chromium. This one's much more lightweight with web views, and React Native is also there. Fine. If you are doing anything React on the web, you'll be fine. But you know, this is for .NET developers, and this is a good place to be. Yes, Tyndall. Yeah, let's see. You're right. Electron is quite good as VS Code. Now, I will say this. So let's go over this. So if you go to, I think Ed and me were talking about this the other day on stream. So if you look at Electron.js today, okay, look at some of the apps, right? If I scroll past this a little bit, there you go. So you know, Twitch and Teams and Slack and, you know, Figma, and so many of these apps are actually Electron apps. VS Code, I will agree with Tyndall here, is one of the best Electron apps because it uses the memory footprint so well. Even with all the extensions and stuff, like it just does not bloat up. It is very, very good. So yes, absolutely, VS Code is proof that Electron works very, very well. But it might be a little heavy-handed for, you know, what you're trying to do. So, you know, choose whatever thing works for you. .NET MAUI Blazor Hybrid is for, it's just a little bit of a lighter footprint. Yes, and Teams is an Electron app. Yeah. And Foolish Level, good to see you, good to see you. That is good. VS Code is good despite Electron. That is on point because some of the other Electron apps, you can't say the same thing. In particular, Slack and Spotify. If you run Slack all day, you know what I'm talking about. Every window, every channel is a Chrome process, and it just chews through memory, and that's one thing VS Code does very, very well. So yes to all of it. So again, like, choose what works for you, right? Yeah, if they use a little bit less RAM, yeah, true. Okay, where was I? Okay, I was trying to redo this app. Okay, so let's. So big evil corpse can build good stuff with Electron. Yes, yeah. It is battle tested, but you need to know what you're doing essentially. Yes. Okay, so MAUI native app, we need to redo that because a whole bunch of APIs changed. So we are going to go in here, MAUI native Blazor, I think. Is that the one? Yes. Right, and we are going to blow this away entirely. Move to trash. Okay. Now we are back in MAUI native Blazor. Cleared that. Right. Oh, what did I do? There you go. Okay. So now .NET new MAUI Blazor. All right. Templates done, created, and let's look at the code now. Now this is the new thing. It's going to complain that I don't have those things. That is fine. I will add those things back in. Hold on, what are you saying? Convert VS Code to Blazor Hybrid? That would be a fun experiment. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Somebody also complained, and hold on, I will show you my Twitter. Another fun experiment would be, let's see if I can pull up. Somebody tagged me the other day, and it's our good friend Jeff Fritz. All right, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I can't see where that was. There we go. All right. So Mr. Jeff Fritz here is saying, because somebody else, this is also my good friend David McCurder, he said, you know, the Windows File Explorer isn't the best, and neither is Finder on a Mac. So yes, there are issues with the file explorers on, be it on Windows, be it on Mac, and he said, hey, you know, Fritz should build a cross-platform explorer in .NET MAUI. And Fritz said, no, I'm not. Maybe Sam should do it. And I said, yeah, sure, we got all the APIs, but yeah, show me the money first. Right? So yeah, these are good experiments. Finder I could never get used to. Yeah, Finder has issues, but you do with whatever file explorer you have built in your OS of choice. So yeah, show me the money and I'll build you a file explorer with MAUI. We have all the APIs, like it's right here. Like if I go look at storage, like this is the file base, file pickers, file result. We have full file system access on both, you know, iOS, Android, you know, Windows or Mac. So we can build it, but it's just who's going to build it? Who's got the time? Yeah. Norton Commander. Okay. Let's come back to this and see what we broke. So we haven't done anything here. Obviously, index.razor is just blank. But let's look at CS Proj here. So this is MAUI native Blazor. It doesn't have the Windows app SDKs anymore. And let's look at MAUI program. Okay, now this is the new stuff. Okay, so it is using MAUI Blazor Web View and blah blah blah. So that should all be good. Okay, let's run this and make sure we didn't. We got the latest template and we didn't break anything. I want to actually run this on iOS. So I'm going to copy that out of my cheat sheet of commands. So .NET build -t run on iOS. So this should be a straight up Blazor project running on iOS. Should not be a problem, hopefully, because I'm using the latest templates as you saw with MAUI program.cs. And then we're going to bring over the stuff that we had in the other project. And then I have to get back to my Sands of MAUI app, which has been restarted like 3-4 times over now with every, you know, preview. But now with RC1, I should have a stable API. No more breaking changes, as promised. Right? I'm going to pop home and take a look at my satisfactory instance. It's funny. Okay, up comes iPad Air. That's my default iOS simulator, which you can actually change if you want to see this on iPhone or iPods. That's still a thing. And it's a cold start, so it takes a minute to launch, and you know, it's talking to Exclude, coming back with that package, and then .NET splash screen and go. There we go. Okay, Napalm, here's a question. Yes, fire away, please. Okay, so Blazor on a Mac or on an iOS, it works. Okay, so we have the basics working, but now let's bring in the stuff that we missed. Okay, right. Let's see. First thing is on index razor. I had some stuff here. Let's bring that over. I'm going to go over and look at the copy of my thing. Question here. Okay. Hold on. This is good. So, Napalm is asking, can you work on a Blazor like a web app in the MAUI project type without pushing it to the simulator until you introduce platform-specific stuff you need the simulator for? Might speed up feedback loop. Yes. No, I don't know if you're asking this as a question or you're asking me to do it, and I I think I can do some of it, but let me show you, because I tweeted about this, because you can. Because one of the, as a web developer, the thing that nobody can live without is developer tools, right? Because on Chrome or Safari one is also decent. You use developer tools because you're using like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can tinker with your UI. Wouldn't it be nice if you could do that on desktop or iOS? So the answer is yes. And we can actually look at this today. If I go find my tweet, where is that? This one here. Okay, so you can on desktop or on mobile use this thing called the developer tools, because the Blazor web view that we are adding, even though it's a tiny web view, it's not the full-on browser. It still has the ability to pull up dev tools, right? So there is actually what's it called, an extension method of the builder services. Right where you install or initiate the Blazor web view, you can say give me the developer tools, and then here's a screenshot. So this is me running this app on an iPad, and I can go to Safari and I can look at the iPad Air that's running on Safari, and I can tinker with this stuff, right? So maybe that's what you want to do. If you don't need to restart the app, or if you're not using any other APIs, you just want to tinker on that view, then you can do CSS. You can do HTML edits right there. So yes, yeah, you absolutely can. And actually on Windows it works a little bit better, because you can actually just do I think somebody said like Control-Shift-I, something like that, and even though you're running it on a Windows desktop, it still pulls up DevTools within the app itself. On an iPad you don't get it within the app because it's an iOS thing, so you have to kind of go through Safari. But if you're running this on Mac, or well, Mac Catalyst actually doesn't quite work, but if you're running this on desktop, then you can actually pull up DevTools within the app itself. So yeah, that's a good story. Okay, back to this. This one is hello world. It's not doing anything, so let's bring back what I was doing. First thing we want to do is go to this index.razor. I'm going to open this up in a different editor, if I may. All right, text edit will do for now. Okay, so here I had a bunch of things here that's going to break the moment I bring it in, but let's try nonetheless. All right. So this was right after the survey prompt, I think. Yeah. So in this project, right after survey prompt, I'm going to paste all of that stuff, right? Now let's see what we did bring in. We are putting in a button in here that says show native info, and then I have a message and I have a device info. When you hit that button, we're going to call this on click. We're going to call this method, right, which is do native stuff, and app info. That is an API call. So let's see what we need to bring in for app info. I think the application model API, devices, no. Authentication application model, no. Communications, app info, maybe that's the interface. So I need this. Chat room, food schnabel. Wait, what are you saying? I'm not following. You have likes the LinkedIn notations that my friends have been working on for 25 years at Ericsson when I knew that's at 10 years ago. Wait, I'm not following. Are you talking about LinkedIn? Because like I don't use LinkedIn, so I might not understand what you mean by notations. All right. If you can explain, that'll be great. Oh, I'm off topic. Okay, as you are, as we always are. Okay, let's try to bring this in. Okay, I'm basically a horrible person. No, you're not. You're amazing. Okay, let's do this. So we're going to do using that. Okay. No, I think I need to do an at, because this is in Blazor, right? Yeah, I need to do an at. So I can't do the MAUI Essentials anymore. Full shambles derail the train. No, I love it when we do get derailed, because that's when we have the good conversations, right? Okay. Oh, and I can also make this global, so I can just do it in one place and then, you know, not have to do this over and over again, which we can try. Everybody has a skill. Yes. No, we love the conversations. Okay, so that application model should be all I need to get app info. And oh, device display orientation. That is not the same API. That is device display. Where is that? Orientation, display orientation. So I need this. So this is what folks are saying, like, yeah, now instead of one API namespace, I have to do all of this. But again, you have to do this one time throughout your app, right? And not bother with it. And you can put this in a global using. Hold on. What did I else say? Oh, this was the MAUI Essentials, right? What else did I have here? So I got the orientation, display info. Is that a part of the same display info? I am hoping it is, because the device type, oh, they're right there, display info. So I should be able to get that. Okay, next up, I also try to read the device info and then the connectivity. This is not the same API. That is, I think it's called networking, connectivity. That's what I'm reading, so I need to bring this little thing in, right? And maybe we'll give it a try with using a global usings, so I don't have to keep doing this over and over again. Okay, so 3 instead of 1 namespace now. Is that all? Is that all I need? Connectivity, connection profiles, if it's on Wi-Fi, which it should be, blah, 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 that's it. Okay, now I also needed, let's see, did I need to bring any of this in through the info plist? Let's go to platforms, iOS, info plist. No, I don't want Xcode to open this. I do want it on okay, so this is the older info plist. I don't need any of this. Don't need any of that. I might want to get all of these. All of this stuff. So let's go to info plist. Now I'm running this only on iOS. So if you're doing this on other platforms, you'll have to add your own thing. So it's a key value pair. Everything is a key value pair, right? So we're going to add one thing called I need photo access, which I'm not using it yet. I need library access, and so camera and then library, and then this is the geolocation. All right. But I should not be needing any of that on this first page. So let's run this and see if we broke anything. .NET build, run on iOS, yes. It's building. Napam, it's to answer your previous question on the web views and using developer tools. Let me try to point you to a blog post that kind of talks about how to do that on Windows. But let's give this a minute for this to come up first. Come on. Is it running already? Oh, it is running. I'm sorry. Okay, it is running. All right, here we go. So we do get this button now. the show native info button. So when I click on it, yay, okay, we are back in business. Okay, so see how we are running on portrait with that resolution. It also reads the device name and the fact that I'm on Wi-Fi. Now this, when I click on that button, that code is actually on the button click, because I'm being lazy here, but I can also recognize when the orientation switches. The error messages seem a bit obscure. Yes. Well, I mean, actually, I didn't have an error. It was just like sitting here doing nothing, saying, "Hey, I failed to focus on some UI things," but it was working. So if I flip this now, and so it's still on portrait because it needs that event or that click handler to fire. So now if I do that, hit that again, now it says, "Hey, I'm on landscape," and that's my resolution because that's the native resolution of the iPad Air. Okay, so we're good with device orientation, app name, device name, because device name is iPad Air 5th generation. So we're good on this front. Now let's look at some geolocation stuff. Perhaps it was not an error, but rather info. Yes, exactly. So, well, it was just info to say some things like some UI things failed to get focus. Nothing important. Okay. So we got this out of the way. Now for reading the geolocation, that we were doing in the fetch, I think, because this is the default fetch, which doesn't do anything. It just says, "Hey, I have a weather forecast service," which is sitting, under shared or I think data. Now that's resources. Where's the weather forecast? Data right there. So it's got these two built-in services and just pulls some random data, and this is the page that shows it, which doesn't do anything in terms of geolocation, but we can actually read the geolocation. So let's go back in here and see what I had done before. Let's go to pages, fetch, other, and give me something to open it with. That's fine. Okay, so in here I brought in essentials. I had this thing, so I'm showing the location data, which I think is, oh, it's just a variable here. Okay, let's bring that back. Right here we're going to do location data, just show that, and we're going to instantiate this location data thing in here because that method is already there. Weather forecasts location data, and then this. So forecasts, after we try getting the forecast, or geolocation should be before that, but let's just get the lat long for now. So geolocation, get last known location. If it's not null, we're going to say here's your lat and here's your long, right? And that's it. So that should do, but in the past we brought this in with MAUI Essentials. Future Travel, just an FYI, I drew 2D graphics in Spectre console and VB the other day. Wow! Really? Terminal GFX for the win. Interesting. You're hardcore to do that on terminal. Wow. It's like almost like ASCII art, but done with VB in terminal. Interesting. Okay, so what do I need to do to bring in, instead of essentials, now we're going to talk about geolocation, which is where? Right there, actually, geolocation request, I think geolocation. So it is a part of this, MAUI devices sensors. So I'm guessing like this is a pretty common namespace that most apps will end up using. So right here, we go at using, what? No, don't do that. I was still typing. There you go. Sensors. Do I need to use a semicolon or no? It doesn't matter. It's all Blazor code anyway. It was just very dumb. Okay. VB is pretty sweet. Yeah, VB is sweet. I mean, Folks love VB. Excuse me. I kind of grew up with VB, VB.NET. I mean, the language has fallen a little behind, I think, compared to like C#. But you know, there are folks like Kathleen Dollard at Microsoft and a few others who still really care about VB. So they keep pouring in love into VB. Okay, so I think that's all we need. Let's run this, because now it's actually should be firing the iOS trigger to say, hey, you're trying to read my location now. All right, let's go iOS. Let's go iOS. Excuse me. So with RC1, essentially we have more granular control over the namespaces, which also makes it a little verbose, but it should be one time that we need to do. Is the app up and running? Okay, it is up and running. All right, we got nothing in counter, but then when we go to fetch data, it should try reading the geolocation, I think. No, it's not. Oh, it is. Okay, you see that? So allow MAUI native Blazor to reuse your location. This is the classic iOS, geolocation warning. You say allow once, and you get this. You see that 37,122. That's the lat long of the simulator, and you can mess with that. You can point the simulator to whichever geolocation you want. So we are good. So nothing really changed, just the namespaces. Now, one thing is, instead of doing these over and over again, can we just do, what's the syntax in Blazor? Because we can just do, can we just do global or no? I think that works. Or actually, let's do one better. Okay, hold on. So where should I put this? Maybe on the main project itself. Open editors. I don't need to see all of that. I want to create a new file. No, not in pages. How do I go up one level? Maybe just tap on here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so can I just call it global usings? Is that what the convention is? Field Terminal is saying I have not done VB in a while. So let's see what you're saying. Yes, C# has a bit of a syntax explosion going on. I'm a bit concerned. VB seems to be calmer waters, but certain new APIs don't work. Yes. And what Field is saying is right, because as a language, as a programming language, right? C# is excuse me, it's fairly mature at this point. It's like 15 years of doing this, right? So what they're adding to C# nowadays is a lot of syntactical sugar. Some of it flies, some of it doesn't, and actually makes it maybe a little harder for you to read the code. So there was something about this just this week. So hold on. So let me try to look this up. There is this thing called the bang bang operator. Did you folks hear about this? I haven't even seen this. What this thing is, the affair of C# bang bang. So it is this bang bang operator. Okay, a programming language, blah blah blah. It yeah, this is a long blog post, and I think this is Rob Miles, who is really a language fanatic, really knows what they're talking about. And so I might bookmark and read this later on. But essentially what they're saying is they actually rolled it back. So this was something that they were going to add in C# 11, but they rolled it back. So they're not doing it because the community did not care for how it was reading, how the code was reading. And this was a bit of a disappointment because they had gone through all of the design phases of that operator, and it was baked in, but now they had to pull it back. So if you have time, read up on that. So yes, C# gets a lot of syntactical love, but some of it may not always fly. So the bang bang operator is the latest example. Yes. VB is dead, I heard. They had no intention of feature parity with C#. It's fallen behind for sure compared to C#, but again, to Fulschnabel's point, some of it might be syntax that it's falling behind, and you can still do all the things in VB. It's not getting some of the syntax that it's getting, that C# is getting. Okay, so SMAB UK is here. Hello, SMAB UK. I call mine global usings.cs, but it can be called anything. Okay, I'm gonna go with the defaults here, global usings.cs. So I don't like all of this stuff being here. So can I? Oh, now this is Blazor though. Let's move this over and see what I break. So if I move this over here, now this is not Blazor, so I can't do that. I can't do that, so it just has to be straight up this. Oh, now I have to close all the things. Yes, there we go. So if I did this, and then if I went back and took it away from this, does the commenting still work? Yes. Okay, so this is Blazor. So see, those three things are now commented out in my Blazor code, but I have it in global usings.cs, and I think that's the convention. It will just pick up, but I might be wrong. So I have those three things in there. So yeah. Oh, okay. So I am doing this wrong because now Blazor doesn't know. Can't I just do it one time? Does Blazor not know if C# has it? Yeah, I forgot the... Okay, so I got multiple things here to work with. One is SMAB UK is saying I need to do it in Blazor imports, which is this file for Blazor to know, but then Abo, if I'm saying that right, is saying you forgot the global keyword. Okay, does it not pick up if I have it in a global usings file? Do I need to use the word global if I'm using it in global? Okay, so let's prove it out. Let's see what we broke. Okay, does Blazor pick up if I have it in C# is the first question, right? And then we'll see about the global part. Okay, so right now Blazor does not have it. Okay, so let's run this on iOS. Yes, this should work. Okay, let's try if it's smart enough to recognize that it's a global usings file. It's all conventions at this point, right? Excuse me. So optimizing assemblies, that's the thing to say, hey, I'm running. Okay, it is running. Do that. It works. Okay. So both are okay, because clearly it is picking it up. So SMAB UK doesn't look like Blazor cares, because this is .NET MAUI and I'm giving it one global using, and what Abo was saying, it even picks up on the word global. This is nice because I don't have to do this all over the place then. So where was the fetch data? So I can comment this out again, and I can just put it all here. So this is what David Ortno was referring to when I had this conversation. Like, you don't need to worry about all these namespaces. Yes, it's broken up, but just do it in one place and call it a day. It's not conventions. You need the global using syntax to be global. Okay. Well, I mean, what I'm trying to say, like the file name being global usings is what C#10 uses as a convention to know that it's for the whole thing. And I don't need to specify that it's global, I think. Okay, it's only global if you're using the type global using namespaces. I'm not sure the comment is working. Wait, which comment is not working? My code or oh, the commenting thing? Oh, you think my commenting is not working? Let's try it out. Okay. I will go ahead and delete that. Let's see if it's faking it, if the commenting did work. All right, let's go to iOS. The file name isn't used. I'm confused. I don't have any code in my Blazor view now. So if it does work now, it is picking it up from global usings. All right, here we go. It is working. So it's smart enough to understand, because like I have nothing else on the file itself, right? So you see that back here, like there is nothing on the Blazor view. So I think it is working. So I'll leave that in there just in case. But okay. So I got those things going. Oh, I wanted to do the yeah, on the counter razor. I had some things in the counter razor. Oh, this file could not be found. Oh, okay, I had a file in there. Okay, let's bring that back because there was something I wanted to do with the photo library that I had done that I forgot. Okay, counter razor.css. Let's bring that over and just drop it in here. Go in there, native Blazor, go to pages and drop that. So now you should have a CSS. This guy, that's just imaging, centering the image, which is fine. But then I had something in counter.razor, which was reading the photo library. That's a fun API to try it out. Counter.razor, let's open this up. Okay. Chat room, what are you saying? Maybe you can have global usings in any file. Yeah, that's what it looked like. What namespaces are you using in your global usings file? What namespace am I using? Let's go look in global usings. So these are all the excuse me, the Microsoft MAUI changed namespaces, and it looks like both Blazor and .NET, they pick it up. It wouldn't be supplied if some of the other libraries were brought to you implicitly. Okay, all right. Okay, so yeah, essentially what I'm doing is replacing MAUI Essentials, which was a beautiful name, but it was just one big monolith, and they broke it up into multiple places or multiple namespaces, so it's all fine. Okay, now in counter.razor, I want to do a few other things. So this one's just a counter, just a button increment. Oh, Smabby UK is saying, wait, I'm confused now. It will work if you remove the global usings.cs because those aren't the correct syntax. What? Wait, I am completely confused now. You're saying it'll work even if I remove this? Because then how is it going to add all the things back in? I think it's going to fail because you need to like these are part of .NET MAUI, but they're not implicitly added to the app unless you request it. Let's give it a try. So let's do iOS build again. I think at some point, like either in the MAUI page itself in XAML C# or in Blazor, like somebody has to bring that namespace in for once. And if this works, like I'll be very confused. What? How? See, this is the developer dilemma where like it's so much better when something is not working than something is working and you don't know why. I was thinking those namespaces might be the default. Oh, I see what you're saying. Ah, okay. So what Abo is saying is what might be going on. So I don't have anything in here, but And I'm very surprised if they're dropping this in the default. So there is a global usings, okay? And you can add on to that. So where's that? CLI projects, let's go to MAUI native Blazor. Is it in bin? Debug, iOS, simulator. Oof, it's a lot of files. Where is global usings? It's not here. Where does that go? Object directory, debug, iOS, that. Abo, do you know where the global usings go in .NET MAUI? Excuse me. Native libraries? No. Linked. Oh, it's a lot of files. Where does it go? I thought it will be in object directory while you're running the app. I don't know. Where does it go? Is it in bin? Because I'm running it on iOS. And this is organized alphabetically, so it's... Oh, publish? No, there's nothing in publish because we haven't done a production build yet. Okay, I'll have to look around where the global usings go, but clearly they are bringing it in somehow. Object directory. It just works. It's pure magic. We don't like magic as developers, do we? Because somebody's bringing it in, and I don't know how or where. And where the heck is the global usings file? Resizitizer is here. I don't think the C# team would implicitly make all the namespaces in a file called global usings global. No, they're not making it global, but how do they know that I'm using it? I also think NuGet packages can bring in global usings. Ooh, maybe. All right, I don't know. Where is global.usings in .NET MAUI? Object debug net6 folder. Okay. Object, where is my net6 folder? How is this even running? I don't have a net6 folder. All right, I will look around because let's look at maybe another project here. Let's look at the MAUI Blazor project maybe. Does this have an obj debug? I've run this on Mac Catalyst. Is it not showing it because like it's like a hidden system file? Okay, I don't know. Your message was too controversial. I think it's got to do with hold on, I can allow it. It's just like the way the NuGet package thing is done. So like the auto mod comes in and says, "Hey, are you trying to say something bad?" No, it's not controversial. Okay. I don't know where my global usings is. I'm sorry. Could you do a global file search in VS Code for global usings? Yes, I can. I think it's Control-Shift-F, I think. Global. Oh, what is this? Where is this? Oh, it is. Oh, it's in the G. Oh, look at that. This is auto-generated. So, Abo, these are all marked global. These are all the MAUI namespaces right there. No, actually, no. This is not all. It's bringing in storage, sensors, application. This is all the auto-generated stuff when you build. Interesting. So you can just use these APIs. You don't need to do anything else. It's just all built in. Now, I hope they are not just, they're careful in the way they are. You know, this was the problem with like when Xamarin Essentials was first launched, because it was like 36 or so APIs, and even if you didn't use them, it was kind of there in your app package. And then they learned how to tree shake and not add them. And I hope they're doing it for .NET MAUI as well. Global usings should be a wedgie, yeah. So it's all there. So you don't have to just think about this at all. It's all there. You can just like start using it. All right. Good to know. So this thing that I did with global usings is completely unnecessary. Okay. Oh well. How do you exclude global usings if you get a collision? I think you can override it with your own file, and hopefully you're not getting collision with a MAUI namespace. But I think you can override at a file level if you do get a collision. you folks are going off on a global wedgie. This is funny. Okay, so apparently me doing the global usings.cs didn't break anything, but it just was unnecessary. There are options to exclude imports. So now we are getting interesting, where you can actually exclude imports that are built in. Okay, well, it's all done then. But let's bring back the counter raiser. That's what I was doing. So on counter raiser, what are we doing? Current count. Oh, I was doing some of this stuff. A few buttons here and there. And I want to read an image, and that'll be the last thing to port for this app. Okay, let's go in here. Where was this? Current count. Oh no, this was after. So that's the count button, and then we want to have a couple more things in here. So, I wanted to do write to storage, read from storage, and then I wanted to write the last used timestamp, and then pick a photo, and then also choose the photo. Oh, this was interesting because I'm actually using just HTML, right? This is all Blazor stuff, right? So here's a Blazor button, here's a HTML image tag, because this has been rendered in a web view, but I can actually go bring back an image from disk on iOS or use the camera, which the iOS simulator doesn't have a camera, so we can't really test that. But it's all there. So this is the increment count, which is fine, but we want to use these two things. Let's add that current count, and then this last used timestamp and image URL. Okay, and this is all we need. Let's grab all of this stuff. All right, so when I do a write to storage, which is fired off when you click on the first button, then we're going to use the last timestamp, get that date time now. Oh, University Bungie Wagey. Yeah. So what I'm doing here is getting the date time now and using this. So this preferences thing is actually also a part of the .NET MAUI thing, which should be just application. Let's check. Application model. Permissions. Where's preferences? Or maybe it's just built in, it's just not even exposed because it's... Oh, iPreferences. Oh, you need the storage now. Should I assume that global usings is bringing it in and I don't have to do that? I want to play it safe and just do that to start with, okay? So I'm bringing in maui.storage so I can read and write to disk. Why is my camera zooming in and out? That's weird. I'm not doing anything with the camera. So I'm going to use this, which is an application level preferences object. It's just a key value pair, and I can read and write from it. Foolish Navel is saying, if there are multiple designers behind the feature, they could get an atom image. We got off on a wedgie jokes here. This is fun. Yeah. Okay, we do not want to use secure storage just as yet, because that is bringing in a whole other thing, which I'll explain in a minute. But let's just get basic things here to work. So I'm putting the last used timestamp, and when I read, I'm going to get the last used thing out of my file storage and show that. And the pick photo, is that wired up? Okay, on click pick photo. Right, this should actually go to the media picker, because I'm not using the camera, I'm just using the media picker. Give me a photo, and then what I'm doing here is, check this out, this image URL. So this is an HTML image, right? And I'm setting the source of that image to this path, right? So you need to grab the whole path of where that file is, because that full path is exposed when you look at what comes back from the media picker, and then you can just like feed it to HTML, and it'll hopefully work. We better stop the wedgie jokes. The stream is getting too wedgie. This is funny. And surprisingly, AutoMod is fine with wedgie jokes, but it's not fine with a NuGet joke. So, I don't know. Yes, let's see if this will work. Let's see if this will work. I think that's all I had. So we'll close this, clear that, and go to iOS build again. Does its thing. Yeah, the builds are fairly quick now, and it's done. It's done and running. All right, so I gave it. Should it work? I think it should work, because in here in my info plist, and again, this is the kind of pain that we invite web developers into when you come and do native things. Everything needs to be a permission. On Android, you have to do like the Android does the whole manifest thing, which is this Android manifest XML. I don't do Android. For iOS, you have to do info plist. So I have the photo library access right here, and I'm going to use it to spy on you. Yes, but let's go into counter. Let's do let's do a read from storage. Okay, it says default value, right? The reason it's doing so is because if you let's go back to counter razor. So so what I did was I hit this one first. I actually haven't written anything to storage, so it said, hey, I couldn't find a key called last used, so I'm just going to give you the default value, right? So that's what it did. But now if I do a write to storage, it should write out. I don't know if you can see it. Can I zoom? Oh yeah, there you go. I can zoom. So it's saying, hey, that is your local date time, right? So that's what we're going to write to disk at this point. So let's go back in here. And we come back, and now if I read from storage, you see that now it's that 11:11 again, and I can do this all day. I can write again. Now it's like 11:12, and now that's what's getting written out. So it's just a key value pair. So that is working. Now let's try the take a pic thing. Okay, that also works. So what I'm doing here is letting the media picker just launch the iOS dialog. I didn't have to write any of this. This is coming straight from the MAUI API, is firing off a call to iOS to say, hey, somebody needs to pick an image from the photo library, right? And these are, I think, apparently 5 or 6 images that iOS has by default. So if I pick this, it comes back and shows me right here, which is beautiful, right? Now, just recognize what's going on here. This all is in HTML. Right, so we are reading something from iOS file storage, bringing it back and setting it in HTML in Blazor. So you can do very native things with Blazor, just like web code, which is really nice. What are you saying here? Oh, let's read your comments. Jen was just saying global using concept will introduce a lot of security issues. How? What do you mean? I mean, do you think? I'm trying to think like how you're thinking this is a security thing. It is auto-generated, some of it, yes. It is using auto-generated global usings file, yes. But you can override, you can have your own global usings like I did, but I mean, if anybody has file system access to your code, and I mean, then they can do whatever they want, but it's just namespaces we are pulling into usings. Now you might say like, no, and what is true here is like it is pulling in all of these auto-generated things that I might not even need in my app. So it's a lot of like useless namespaces that you're bringing it in, if that's what they're doing. And I can actually ping the .NET MAUI team to say, why are you bringing in all these namespaces if I'm not using this? It should be explicit. That's the point. Like, it's granular. Only give it what I need, but no more. And I hope they're not like they're doing tree shaking when they build the app package. But yeah, it is what it is. It is a C#10 feature, clearly. File scope namespaces and global usings all over the place. Yeah. Okay, so this works. Now, I don't think I'm going to try doing the next thing, which is what I have here. Okay, you see that secure storage? This is also something you get from the MAUI storage namespace, right? But when we wrote this, like you see that, let's go back here. When we wrote this preferences, this goes on file on iOS, Android, Windows, or Mac, and it's written as a key value pair, but it's like flat file. It's a plain file written out as string, right? Now, if that is secure enough, because it's in a sandbox, nobody should be able to read it other than your own app, but it is written as plain text. And if you, hopefully you're not writing sensitive things to disk, but if you are, then you have another option. And Fullschnabel, it looks like we have to fix our automod settings, because it doesn't like every time you say NuGet, it gets a little upset with you. What I think might be an issue is that NuGet bringing global users can be made cause confusions and let a bad package inject extensions. Oh, I see. Wasn't this the whole thing with NPM? What was that? Oh, somebody was talking about this. Like, since it brings in these namespaces, somebody had some bad code or malicious packages that NPM was bringing in because it just brought in a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I don't know the details. So yes, technically, and I don't think NuGet is actually bringing those in Fullschnabel. I think it's just the compilation system in .NET MAUI that throws in the global usings. Based on the type of .NET app you have and what type of project it is, it just gives you a whole bunch of these things out of the box. Yeah, I mean, if NuGet was bringing it in, then it might be a bit of a security problem. Okay, so I'm not going to do this because this involves jumping through a whole bunch of hoops, because the moment you do secure storage, so when I do preferences.set, this has been written out as a string on file, but if you want the additional security of having it encrypted, then you go to secure storage, and it's just a simple API. Like, you can write to it like set async, and you can read to it like with get async. But this is going to fail all over the place if I run this. Yeah, SMAB UK saying I don't think NuGet can bring in global usings outside of its own assembly. Yeah. So for me to be able to do this, if I open up this line of code, what the iOS simulator is going to complain is, hey, you don't have enough permissions. And here's what you need to do to fix that. And I'm not going to do it because it involves some more things, but let me show you what it is anyways. I should add this back in anyways. So if I go into my platforms, and if I go into iOS, and let's grab that file, and we're going to drop this back in our project. MAUI native Blazor, going to platforms. Now remember, what I'm doing here only works for iOS and Mac as well, like if I have to replicate those files, but it's not going to work for Android and Windows. You have to still do permissions. So on iOS, we have this additional thing. So there's info plist, which is all of the permissions that you declare to the user to say, hey, I'm about to use your camera, I'm about to use your geolocation or your photo library, right? These are permissions to the user. And then you got this thing called entitlements, which is what it sounds like. It's an entitlement. It's a privilege that you don't even know that you have, essentially. But what Apple is trying to say is these are additional privileges that your app might have, that you might be wanting to use from the iOS ecosystem or the user's device. So this includes things like iCloud or like Siri and all the good stuff, right? But in this case, what I'm using it is this keychain access, right? So if I have to use secure storage, I have to have that entitlement in my project so I can, write to keychain and read back out of it. Now, this is only one part of it because when you're doing this is like sensitive stuff. You're using Apple services and you're going a little bit outside of your app in iOS. So what you really have to do is do the whole Apple developer thingy. And let me show you. If I can log in to my account. Ooh, WWDC is coming up. Yay, yay. It's June 6th to 10th. All right. Don't tell people my email, would you? I will do it here. Because you are all friends, right? Interesting. It didn't even ask for like additional permissions on my phone or stuff like that. That's funny. You're entitled. Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. Entitlements are things that you have privileges for, and sometimes you don't even realize that you have that privilege. But in this case, you have to ask your the big brother watching here, that's Apple, to say, hey, I'm about to use this stuff, so please give me this stuff. So what you have to do here is go into your certificates and profiles, right? Here you can see like I have a couple of these ones here, but each app has to have a thing. So you can see that I'm using this wildcard thing. So once you go in there, this is where all of your capabilities come in, right? So you can say, hey, I want data protection, I want HealthKit, I want iCloud, I want maps, I want network extensions like Siri. So these are things that your app has to declare up front, and that app identifier has to be mapped and matched up to the Apple provisioning profile, and that's what you use to generate the certificate when you go to the store. So just a whole bunch of hoops to jump through, but you can use secure storage very, very easily, right? I'm just not going to do that right now because it's, again, downloading the profile and then running it, because if I just do this based on entitlements, it's going to say, hey, you don't have enough privileges to write or read from the keychain. Okay, so things work as usual in .NET MAUI RC1. If you are on the fence, get started. Get started with .NET MAUI RC1. The tooling is almost ready. On Mac, it's still just a little rough, but it's getting there. VS for Mac is coming along, and on Windows, it's just much better. So, less than a month between going live with .NET MAUI. So, good, fun, interesting times. I have more apps to migrate, but I've already gone over an hour, which is my allotted time, and I got more meetings. But so I might stop, and I might do that other app, which is my Sands of Maui app. I can keep working on it and then follow up next week. So I think this is a stream. that's the stream. All right. Yeah, Shmeliork, you were the first person to comment. Thanks for hanging out with me all through. You saw me kind of go through some growing pains and not understanding how global usings work clearly. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me and giving me pointers. Thank you all. Thank you all. And yeah, I love you all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And take care of yourself. Try being as productive as you can. And we'll see you on the next stream. All right. Bye bye for now.